Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TV, the studio which is made possible by the IV Group. My name is Marc. Next to me is Henk Kossel. We're interviewing several people who have some importance in the building industry. We're talking English right now because we have a special guest, actually, Marc Mimram. He's a French architect. He has a big company, about 36 employees, and has big projects, mainly bridges, but also utility. Marc, my first question to you. Your company combines two things, architecture and engineering. You yourself are architect and an engineer. You're a so-called Archineer.
That's true.
Yes, you are.
I didn't know.
How didn't you know? But can you explain us how do you describe your job?
We are combining the two. I don't make any difference between architecture and engineering, as I was trained in that, and in our office we have both architecture and engineers working together. And if you come to the office, you will not see the difference. Only the air, maybe. And what we try to do is to make the combination of architecture, conception and calculation together. So we go from the design to the calculation and from the calculation to the design. So we do both together at the same time.
By calculation, you mean engineering or
engineering calculation?
Yes. So there's no duality in the two. It's just beautiful combined.
It's very combined because we do models and we have made programs that are showing what we're doing and calculating together. We are doing both together. We develop some programs that I can do both from one side to the other.
Okay, there's no struggle. It's just beautiful combined there.
Sometimes there's struggle too, but but it's inside, so we can. In the world, usually architects speak very badly about the engineers, and engineers speak very badly about the architect because they don't work together. One is giving the order to the other, and the other is saying it's not possible.
Yeah.
For me, it's just the same project. So what we deal is the project. All the items that can work on the project are good for the project.
But are you first concerned about the form or the construction? That's
form, static, and construction are together. So sometimes it's beginning from the construction, sometimes it's beginning from the calculation. It depends on the project. Usually it's beginning from the site. What we try to do is to understand what is the landscape and what it will tell us to develop the project. Landscape is very important for me.
You want to embed it in the context.
Embedded is not the right word because sometimes it's clash also because it's the landscape with. If we talk about a bridge, it's the landscape without the bridge and then the landscape with the bridge. So it's very. This is China. If you before the bridge you have nothing, and then after the bridge you have that. So it's changing a lot. This is, for example, a bridge in Rabat, in Morocco. The landscape is very thin, so you have to be very careful about the horizon and the sky. So sometimes a project is coming from the ground, sometimes it's coming from the sky. Not from the sky, from God.
So if you wouldn't like to interrupt in the landscape and you had to take a slender structure, you probably would take steel?
Yeah, we do work with both steel and concrete.
Yes, we noticed.
Sometimes it's coming from the ground, so the concrete is going more deeply, it's more massive. And sometimes it's slender, like you say, it's lighter, and so we use steel. And I go from one to the other, trying to understand what is the best situation and what the best solution for this.
At what moment in your design process you decide which material? Is there a specific moment?
Depends on the project. You have to work with the landscape, you have to work to understand the situation, and then you have to make sometimes the form, like you said, the form. I don't like very much the idea of the form because it's too coming from the sky. Form is coming from, nobody knows. So we are dialoguing, we are making a dialogue between the form and the calculation, and sometimes or either it's coming from the place or either it's coming from the calculation. Because if you want a slender slender. If you want something very tiny, very thin, you would go better to the steel. And if you want something more heavy and more massive, you would go better to the concrete. Or wood, for example.
Wood, sure. But at one moment, as a civil engineer, that you want to be precise in your designing, so then you have the material.
And then
there is a moment, but it depends on...
It's very early, very early. You don't go do... I never do two projects, and I never do two projects with two materials. What we try to do is to go ahead with one project. So what is the best form for this project? What is the best material for this project? What is the best construction development? And it depends on the part of the world also. In some part of the world you wouldn't use very much steel. You are on the seashore in Rabat, it's harder. They have a knowledge of concrete. In China they have a knowledge of concrete, but they don't know how very much to pour it very good.
Oh really?
When it's a complex structure.
Right.
So we go better to steel. They don't know steel. They didn't know 10 years ago. Now they know perfectly everything.
Yeah.
There was this collaboration with Lafarge. It's from the concrete industry. Is that that's your kind of research? Is that your kind of quest for finding new grounds?
No, there are. Let's say you have the projects. And sometimes from the project are coming questions that let's call research and development. Some research. For example, now we are using very high stress concrete called shells.
Shells and the curves.
So this is we have to deal with complex structure. Sometimes we use very complex steel. We used to become very connected with ArcelorMittal at one time at the very beginning to do with it. And now I don't know where it's in the industry of steel where they are doing that. It's more competitive. They don't have so much money to do. But we should do that. We have to make experience too.
Yes. It's experience. It's about mutual benefits.
Yes, exactly.
Do you consider the mutual benefits above own studying or reading?
It can be all part. It can be pure research. For example, we did a lot of work on inhabited bridges. Mm-hmm. That's my item. I love the
infrastructure.
Infrastructure as public space.
Yes, multi-purpose.
Yes, it's a living infrastructure.
Living infrastructure. And in that case it's very above. So it's above everything. But sometimes we need people to deal with welding or special steel or special thickness. For example, in France we use very early the very thick plates. People didn't know how to weld it very well on the side. So we have to develop special conception and special conception about structure and about building. Okay. So you have all those items, the statical model, the calculation, and the site and the construction. So sometimes we need help. We need to have dialogue.
Dialogue, that's what's right. Conversation and dialogue. So
it's very difficult when you are on the project itself, because on the project you have the money, the price, you have the bill. It's finished.
Yes.
You have to know.
Yes.
And sometimes before that you need to have a dialogue with the industry. And I love it because they know a lot of things. What we try to do is to use from one project to the other. What we develop on one theoretical point of view, we can use in the project, so that it will go ahead. But we need to go ahead. We know.
But that's a never-ending story.
I'm sorry?
That's a never-ending story in your research for knowledge for a new.
Yes.
You've called it pushing the envelope. Am I right?
I'm trying to do what I don't know. I'm trying to do what I don't know. Not usually. I'm not trying to do what I know. What is very interesting when you go in abroad, all over the world. I should not tell you that, but when you go in another country, they think that you can do things that you don't know how to do, because they for example, the Solferino Bridge, when we did it in Paris, when we came to China, they didn't know how to weld this so thick plates. So we have to develop special technology, and we go and develop their own industry. So it's a dialogue. Sometimes we met people, fantastic people in the industry that knows to do things that we don't know.
So with this Chinese project, you brought the knowledge to the Chinese?
Yes,
that's true.
Yes, that's true. But now I'm taking their knowledge to Europe.
You're taking it back. It's about seeking knowledge, bringing knowledge, and seeking knowledge.
Yes. People imagine that they are going there and the people don't know anything. You go there, you do a project, and then you understand, you learn more than you give to them. I mean, it's an exchange. We learn a lot from the Chinese because we can do things that we cannot do anymore in Europe, in China, because they have no laws, no regulations and things like that are stopping you and saying it's impossible.
Is there something specific about a Chinese building culture that you specifically remember?
When they, for example, when we deal with a very thin, like you say, slender structure, we do the calculations. The calculations are not regulated by the rule. They are.
No norm or whatever. No rules up there.
There are rules, but it's open.
Okay.
So they don't know exactly what. So if we show them that it works, they accept it. In Europe, if you show them if you show to the people how it works, the people will say it's not the regulation.
I know. Understand. Formalities.
Formalities.
I have a problem each day out of this problem. I do the calculation. I say, the guys say it has never been done. But in China they don't say that because nothing has been done. So you can do things, extraordinary things.
Does that mean that you would work rather in China more than in Europe because of the freedom?
We are doing a lot of very much project there because you can. It's very difficult. I should not say it's easy, but the regulations are not stopping you at the very beginning, and it's very strange, you know. When I come back to France, I show to the people that I can do it because I did it in Europe, in China, and they say, no, but it's not in France. It's not France.
So you're really active in China, still right now? How did this relationship begin?
It's very easy to understand. They came to me because we did the first bridge in Paris, the Solferino Bridge, and they said, we want the same one.
Oh.
We want this to be rebuilt.
They came to look.
They came to me and they say, we want the same one. And I say, I never do twice the same project. They never understand that. I say, they want a copy.
Yes.
I say, no, we do a new one. So, and then we began. And then now we have an office there. But I'm not saying that China is paradise. China is awful for a lot of point of view. But in Europe, we have to be more persuasive, more open-minded. In Europe, sometimes it's very difficult. Now we are doing a new project in Austria. I hope they look very open-minded.
Okay.
Depends.
Is it better working in a foreign country than in France?
No, we have a lot of projects in France. Very good one. But it's old Europe has to be young again.
Okay. That's nice.
Within this Lafarge project, it was there were two subjects. One designing what is called living architecture, living infrastructure. The other one was compare the footprint of a concrete bridge to the same one in steel. Can you tell something about it? Was there some conclusion?
Yes, it's very interesting because if you speak to Lafarge, which is a concrete industry, they will say like concrete is very good, concrete is the best, and obviously it has environmental no problem. Everybody knows that concrete has a lot of problems. If you go back to steel, they will say the same thing. So we have to be expert. We have to go out of that. If you go to wood, obviously, wood is the best thing in the world.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we choose, we have to be rational in our choice. Like we said before, we have to deal with that. What is the best material for that project at that moment, at that place, with the economy? We never speak about money when we speak together, but money is there.
Surely.
So sometimes a project can go from concrete to steel because the problem of the way to make it, so how much it costs. So it's very interesting. I think now that I'm getting older, I can see the things better. But it's not the same all the time. It can change very fast.
So an absolute comparison is
That's
still
no
need to do.
No meaning. But you can remember that Le Corbusier did a lot of projects in concrete. They changed it to steel, and they did a project in steel, they changed it to concrete.
Yeah.
It's because of the situation at that time. Now it's in all this, I don't speak about that because it's changed very much. But now it's changed very fast. The place, the situation, and the cost will change. For example, now the industry of steel is getting in a bad situation because with the production, they have too much production. The prices are getting better. So it changed very fast. The economical situation has a relation to the form making. It's not abstract.
Sure, I understand. When you're talking about new products or new systems, do you think there's some special for steel or steel products? Do you think there's some specific product development possible?
I think the fact that the industry is very linked to computer now, welding, cutting, developing. So our relationship with the industry is much closer. We should do it even better now.
Yes.
When I draw, I don't speak about China anymore, but just last time, when I draw in my office in Paris, I send it to the industry in China, and they cut it from there. So we have a connection, because we have no choice. We go straight from the design to the building. We should do that every place. We should be more connected with the industry. And the industry need us. Sometimes they think they don't need us, but I think...
So that's the major development, more interactive.
Yes, because of cost problems. Now we cannot do our job and say and forget the cost, and they will do their own project and saying how much it costs. We need to be more connected. Calculation is connected, cutting is connected, developing is connected. So we have to be more in phase with the industry.
When you look at your project, specifically bridges, what strikes is that they're beautiful made. They have a groomed appearance. Are you involved far in the process, in the building process itself?
Sure. This is a very specific situation. Nowadays, I don't know why it's coming back to the fact that the architect will be in the beginning, the engineer in the second phase, cutting, and then the builder. It's very bad. It's very bad because we don't have information about the site. We don't know what's happening. So
too many steps.
We have to. The project is something like doing that, like a circle coming and coming from the precedent one. You know, the young people working in my office, they never go to the site. They don't know what's happening. What is the welding? So I need them. I want them to go there. So we need to be connected to the site. So the fact that they are cutting that like that is a very bad process. So I think what we ask for, even in China, even in very far away industry, we want to be, we are at the very beginning of the project, up to the end. Obviously, we don't go every week, every day.
But you want to continuously be involved.
It's very important.
I think so. Yes.
In Germany, we did a project. We were not connected. They changed it very much. It was very bad. They had to ask us after a year. So we don't want to do that anymore. I want to be linked to the project up from the beginning to the end.
Does that mean that you've always also have been involved in the detailing and the actually making of, like, for instance, the Strasbourg Architecture School, which was just finished? Yes. The reviews are raving. Yes. Many people are a bit concerned, will it be as crispy looking in about 5 years because it's so nicely finished? But that's probably small criticism, I don't know. But did you check all those details with the facade? And
we did everything from prototype to the.
Oh, the mock-up thing.
We did mock-up. We were in Swiss to make that. I don't know where. Now we are doing the Roland Garros stadium. We are doing the new stadium.
Yeah.
We are doing that. Make mock-up, and I think it's very important to be connected with the way that people are making the things. Because sometimes, like I told you, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what is the solution when I love the idea that I go forward. To do something that I don't know. So we need to make mock-up. We need to develop the relationship with the builder. So it's very important for me to be at the beginning and at the end.
Yes.
So for Strasbourg, we did lots of mock-up. For Strasbourg, we did, I don't know where. Now it's finished, the people are inside. It's very, very transparent, and this structure, steel structure, is a special one done for the project. So it's very interesting that.
This one is only about Strasbourg.
Yes.
I've never. Oh, it's only about that one. Oh, nice. Nice.
Can we take this? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One of my final questions would be: you've explored this living infrastructure thing, like using infrastructure for more purposes, more functions in one structure, building better cities. The living infrastructure studies somehow have the connection to Metropolis, Fritzland's movie.
Yes.
What are your biggest concerns in regards to the future? How should we build better cities? I know it's a very hard question.
No,
what is your focus on it?
I'm very focused about that because we are building a lot of bridges. Now we are building overground metro. We are building cable car.
Cable car, yes.
So all kind of infrastructure. And I'm afraid about the idea that the world will be cut into parts. The world of the city will be cut into parts. The part of the infrastructure which should be fast, bad, out of the city, and
from A to B,
and then the rest of the city. You know, there is a problem with the people. For everybody, we drive cars, but we don't like to have the highway in front of our house. So how can we do that? I took the train, but the train is passing through the landscape. So how can we deal with that? I don't want to live in front of the train railway station. So now we are building, for example, a railway station in the south of France. How it can became a public space. It's very interesting. You are arriving in a city. The first thing you see is a railway station. It can be open. It can be changed. You can work in the railway station. You wait for the train. You can work there. You can have people coming there and meet you there. Instead of, for example, this can be done in a railway station. It would be great.
Sure.
It would be good because the people will come and see and
great idea.
So infrastructure and the landscape of the infrastructure can be reconsidered, reused. What we did in Rabat is we used the underneath of the bridge, so that the underneath of the bridge became a market, and people can be there. It's very good. You are on the roof, you are on the shadow, and you have no sun, you have no noise, because the noise is going outside, not underneath. You have light. And so, you know, Borough Market in London? Borough Market in London is under the train.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So the people have to be reconnected to the infrastructure.
So it's mere a combination of facilities. It's all combining.
Combination about the city and the infrastructure, not office, living, houses and infrastructure. This has to be combined. You are talking about metropolis. How can we go forward? How can we go out of this vision of Fritzland that the infrastructure is a monster coming and taking it all apart? I'm very interested about this reference because it's the limit of the infrastructure.
Yes.
What we try to do is to make a living infrastructure. So it's,
I now understand. So it's also way of living there. So it has extra qualities.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it is connected to the city.
Okay.
And if it's becoming connected to the city, the people will not hate it anymore. And they say they will go to their house understanding that it's something that we share. And what I understand now is that public space is the main place where we share the city. We don't build castle anymore. We don't build a very large building for the power. What is the place where the people are connected together? It's the public space. So the public space is usually connected with infrastructure. So in that case, look at what's happened in that case. I'm just to finish. It's becoming a place of democracy.
Yes.
It can be a place that we share. And look at that. What's happening in Hong Kong today? Where are the people? They are not in front of the palace. They are not saying to the power. They are in the street. They are taking place in the street. They are inhabiting the infrastructure.
Right.
So it's very important.
So it's about loving the public domain.
Sorry?
They just love the public domain there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's our domain.
It's our domain. It must be collective.
Sharing. So it's very interesting that if we share it positively and not negatively.
Yeah?
One question, last question. What did you put in this building? I mean, it's for future architects. What did you try to put in there as a renowned architect?
It's very interesting because it's a very special project. School of Architecture for Architects.
It's basically the core.
For me, it was, let's say, two things. Three things. One is the relationship with the city. I wanted them to see it's a school inside the city. So it's not like to be outside. You are inside the city. I want them to, the best lesson for them is the city, living city. You have to see, to be connected with the city. The second thing we were talking about that now is the public space. I use the school as a public space also because this part is a gallery open to the city. The city can connect that to the ground. You have amphitheater on the ground and you can go above and you have the class. So it's public spaces sharing the city and I think it's very important. And the third thing is I'm an architect professor. And I was wondering what can we show about the idea about the relationship between structure and texture, between structure and the facade. You know, usually now the problem of the structure, the question of the structure is not shown anymore because you have envelope. The envelope is hiding everything. In that case, I wanted them to be connected with the construction. Okay. So during the night you see. The
truss is inside.
And during the day you have that inside, and then during the day you have it inside. So you are connected with the idea of construction. And so they know it.
Oh, that's nice.
So they can see it and feel it. And every member is very different from the other. This one is thinner, this one is thicker, thinner.
Oh, really?
Oh,
it depends on the strength.
Of course.
Oh, great.
And it's a mixed
So you're
structure.
showing the forces.
Yes. And we are mixing V&L beam and truss beam.
Did you draw that in grasshopper or rhino?
Yes.
Grasshopper. Rhino.
Okay.
And grasshopper also. We use both. You see the structure? It's a beam, truss beam, and then it's a V&L beam. So it's V&L. So this is calculation.
Wants to show it.
Calculation we couldn't do. This is things that only Rhino can do now, and we couldn't do that 20 years ago. It's a mixed structure. Okay. It's a hybrid structure. I love it.
Right.
Ik ben klaar. I think so too. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming.
Clear.
Have a nice lecture, and hope we speak together too.
Thank you very much.
We ronden deze af. Marc Mimram heeft net verteld over hoe de public spaces wel moet overgaan in infrastructuur en hoe wij betere steden kunnen maken. We hebben net bedankt in het Engels. Again, I thank you again in English now.
How do you say thank you in Dutch?
Dank je.
Dank je.
Dank je. Alsjeblieft.
Dank je wel.